So, after 3 months, it's finally here, the latest shipment to the big Jimny store, and it's taken one hell of a lot of work to get this here. As I said, 3 months in the process, arguing with banks, international financial institutions overseas, and then finally arguing with overseas customs. We finally got a shipment in. What is it? It's the much awaited Snorkel for the Gen4 Jimny. It's still early days in the products for Gen4, and Snorkels are fairly few and far between, with there being a few traditional style ones coming out of Australia. That's where they go along the wing and up the front screen. And can I say traditional? I call them sort of 1990s style snorkels, very classic designs. They're coming out, but they're still quite rare and difficult to get hold of. There is at least one company out in China, Mongolia, starting to produce some snorkels, and there is the snorkel available in Brazil. The one in Brazil is from Suzuki. It's a genuine Suzuki part in Brazil that the people in Brazil can order. And guess what? Here it is. A snorkel all the way from Brazil. Much blood, sweat and tears to get hold of these, I tell you. Anyway, we're now going to go through this video. I'm going to introduce you to what's in the box, what you get for your money from Brazil, and then in the next video, part 2, the even more awaited how to fit one of these to a Jimny. I will confess at this point that I've already fitted it to our Jimny. So in opening this box, the usual YouTube box opening video, I actually know what's in here and I know what each part does, okay, because I've fitted it already. But the part 2 of this video, the fitting, will come after this one. So, snorkels. How do you choose? You've got a choice of pre-made ones like this one, or people even making do-it-yourself. When you're looking for a snorkel, you have to look for what it is that you want. Some people actually want to wade with them, okay, the traditional use for snorkel, or if you are in places like Australia or Africa, then it's dust. That's where they traditionally have got a big market, is in raising the air intake. In fact, they're called raised air intakes more than they're called snorkels, because they're designed to lift the air intake above the airflow and the dust. Okay, if you're looking for one for style and smartness, then there are other ones to choose, and you can even go right down to bits of what I call a B&Q. For those of you in a different country, B&Q is a large do-it-yourself chain in the UK. Other do-it-yourself chains are available, and they make it out of drain pipe. But by going with a Suzuki one like this, you get one that is designed to fit your car properly, is designed to drain properly. That's key, because rain and moisture gets into a snorkel inevitably, and just making your own out of B&Q pipe, or indeed importing perhaps one of the cheaper Chinese ones, there's been no thought given into how it might drain liquid from the intake. And of course, styling. Styling to us is everything, which is why we've gone for this one. If you look around modern vehicles, sort of from about 2010 onwards, they no longer have the long tube that goes along the wing. Instead, they have a box section that fits over an intake in the wing and produces a nicely styled solution, and the Brazilian one does that. So, enough talking about it, let's look what is in the box. So, in the kit, first of all is the snorkel itself. This is described as an HPE, high performance epoxy snorkel. That means it is actually based on a fiberglass and epoxy solution. However, unlike some fiberglass snorkels, this one is very heavy duty. Okay, it's very thick, and as I say, weighs quite a lot for a fiberglass construction. As you can see, it has got the Suzuki signature chevrons in the side, and air intake curved into the top of the screen at the top. So, as we said just now, specifically designed for the Suzuki Jimny. This piece is a piece of tubing that goes under the wing from the end of the snorkel and goes to a new inlet that you put under the front end of the wing, replacing the existing intake end in underneath the front of the wing. So this connects into here and connects into there. You've got the various hose clips in there to join everything together, and you've got some adapters here which adapt this end of the junction into the Suzuki air system itself, the original air system. There are some brackets here and here for mounting this up underneath the front of the wing. This bracket here, because I've already installed one, I now know that this needs modifying. You need to remove that stud there by drilling it out in order to cope with the collision, the airbag collision sensor that's fitted under the front wing of right-hand drive UK models. This is the only right-hand drive is the place where they fit them. Of course, this kit was designed for left-hand drive, so in the left-hand drive cars that place is vacant because the sensor's on the other side. But on the right-hand drive ones, the sensor's there. You need to modify that bracket. We then also have this strange device. In the intro video, you heard me, the intro to this video, you heard me banging on about drainage and how that when you're buying a snorkel or making a snorkel, you need to consider how to get water out of that snorkel. This is a valve. You can just see probably that the rubber splits here so that water that's in here drains through. This fits on the bottom of this intake here and acts as the drain. Okay, quite a clever rubber valve to let water out. So any water that's come in here, gone down here, arrives in here and drains out the bottom. Okay, making this a well-designed snorkel. Equally, talking about drainage, the built-in Suzuki piping that goes from the air filter through to the front has actually got two hidden drain holes in it underneath. Anyone again who's building a snorkel, just run your hands underneath that tube about halfway along and you'll find two big holes that you probably didn't even know was there. They provide a blanking kit within this to fit inside the tube and blank off those drain holes, because of course they would be where water can get in. Obviously you've got the front grille that fits over here on the intake itself. The grille there, you've got some fitting pieces that enable you to fit the snorkel to the car itself. Also VHB tape. The VHB tape is laid along the inside of the snorkel to effectively stick it to the vehicle. I had a long debate with my metalworking friends over at Red Metal Fabrication. They believe that VHB tape is actually so strong you probably don't even need to bolt the snorkel on. So that is the fitting kit. Importantly, with the fitting kit you also get a set of instructions. It's fair to say these instructions are in Portuguese. The way to read the instructions in Portuguese, if you're not Portuguese, is to use Google Translate, and in fact Google Translate with the camera. If you look here, you can see that my phone is translating the text on the screen. If I carefully insert my phone running Google Translate and refocus for you, you can see that Google Translate has corrected that into English or as near to English as it can make. Okay, you have to move it around, but you can see that it's translating the manual from Portuguese into English. Okay, you have to interpret some of the bits. It doesn't tell you about removing some of the pieces within the car that you do need to remove. So for instance, the bottom end of the black sill cover on the Jimny itself, the actual sill cover that goes on the bottom of the car, you need to undo the front end in order to remove the wheel arch. Little things like that you just need to interpret as you go along to some extent. Okay, so you've got the set of instructions, and you've also got a set of cutting templates. There's two in here, one to cut the hole for the snorkel, the other to move the vacuum reservoir that's under the wing. Jimny has a vacuum operated system, the reservoir's under the wing, it needs to move. Again, because I've done this now, I've actually installed it, be very, very careful with that template. Okay, it is designed for a left-hand drive car, which means it still fits on the same side, the snorkel fits on the same side, but when it goes over that part of the wing, behind where you're going to drill is a wiring loom in the right-hand drive car that is not there on a left-hand drive car. You'll see in the part 2 video when I'm installing it, I make the serious mistake of believing that the drilling template is safe and just drilling through it. It was only afterwards I realised I had just missed the main wiring loom with the end of the drill. Okay, so be very careful with that one. So that sums up the kit. I think it's a particularly good kit. It's got everything you need. It is, as I say, Suzuki's own design, so it fits in everywhere on the car properly. It makes a complete solution. There are no extra bits you have to think about. As I say, it's got the drain system and all that in it. It's got the blanking plugs for the existing drains. So all in all, a very comprehensive snorkel, and I think also being of the short design, it's very stylish. So, next video is how to install it.